let's do the Ballybunion handshake to start things off.
Okay, just kick things off.
Yeah.
You know.
It's their official Ballybunion
and then
handshake
it's
that they do.
And then it's that. And then it's bump, bump, bump.
That's it. It's the official. The tourism board.
They teach it to you the moment you arrive.
Showed us. Welcome back to Ireland. If you missed our last video, we just came from Kinsale, and now we are in Ballybunion. By the way, I'm Jason Zook, and this is Caroline Zook.
That's right. We run an unboring coaching program for online business owners called Wandering Aimfully, and for the entire year this year, we are traveling full-time throughout Europe. So first off, let's talk about how do we get from Kinsale to Ballybunion. Okay, so we did have a rental car, and driving around Kinsale, we got more comfortable on the left side of the road. I was starting to feel a little bit more confident about that, even as a passenger, not as the driver.
As you need to, yeah.
And so I kind of geared up for about, what was it, like a 2-hour drive?
Yeah, we picked a route on Google Maps. We chose an N road, which is supposed to be kind of like a motorway, but smaller. That N road went from lane lines, lots of space, shoulders, and like a grape, it shriveled into a raisin of a very small road many times, a little precarious, but hey, look, we're here.
Exactly.
We made it. Obviously, it was fine.
We made it. Listen, after the shrivelly raisin roads, we did make it, and I think we did pretty well.
Yeah.
But the clouds had parted, like you said. It was beautiful blue skies, and we just arrived in this bustling metropolis of a town.
So many streetlights, high-rises galore.
Yeah,
you wouldn't
people
believe
everywhere.
The size of this Irish town. You can see for the clips that I just put over top of that, it's not that big. In fact, it is basically one block that makes up downtown Ballybunion.
Itty bitty.
But we love that about it. That's why we picked this town, was just to have a nice 2.5 weeks of kind of quiet and calm.
Beach.
And the Airbnb, which you'll get to see in a few minutes, was the amazing part of this entire place. And just arriving in the town, it was nice, it was fun. So in this video, we're gonna share with you what we did, where we stayed, and what we ate here in Ballybunion.
What we did in Ballybunion, Ireland.
One of the first things we did is we ordered a sunset. And upon
One,
arrival,
please.
it was there waiting
Wow.
for us. We have to say the Irish weather has really been fantastic for the 2.5 weeks we've been here. But the evening we arrived, the sunset was amazing. We went out on the beach, which was right outside of our Airbnb, and we just kind of like hung around these little like cliffs and caves and just watched the sunset. It was very magical.
It was the perfect way to arrive and really just take in what we were gonna see for the next 2 weeks, which is a stunning beach, beautiful nature, and yeah, it was just the perfect kickoff.
Also, did you see how good my handstand was? It's no big deal, but I did a handstand on the beach.
You're acrobatic.
I got sand in my hands though, which wasn't my favorite.
You don't like that. So the important thing to know about Ballybunion is you basically have 2 beaches, and we were on one of them. And so you have this gorgeous view of the ocean. To one side, you have these amazing cliffs. To the other side, you have the castle that you can see right out from our window of our Airbnb. And the cliffs were one of my favorite parts because,
Absolutely.
I mean, the amount of nature that you're able to see steps from your front door. We would go on this cliff walk every night, which is this lovely little pathed area. They do have fencing around, so you don't just like fall off the cliff. And that was like part of my favorite activity that we did, is just going on that cliff walk.
Talk about a great way to end your day, is to go up the little hill, walk the cliff, and just be able to take in all of the nature, see all of the waves crashing. You can see virgin rock around one part, which you don't even know exists until you kind of like do this. It's like a mile or so cliff walk, and just this like big rock pops up out of the water. It's just amazing. The cliffs are magical. I mean, talk about, again, just like the perfect way to end a day. It was lovely.
So to the other side, opposite the cliffs, you have Ballybunion Castle, which is this like, I think, defining landmark of Ballybunion.
Absolutely.
Because you can see it from any point in the town. And yeah, I mean, granted, this castle has,
it's a wall of a castle.
you know, that sits right on the Atlantic, has eroded over time. So it's basically just one wall left. But it was really fun to go and explore. We found a tiny little, what is it? I think it was a fairy door.
Okay, you can call it a fairy door. I like to think of it as like a little mouse door. Like they just like, there's, I guess, like a hole in the bottom.
Somebody must have created it and made
really
a little
cute.
door, which was adorable, and it just made it feel really magical. But yeah, a fun reminder of the history that exists and has existed forever in this little piece of the world.
You even told me that lightning struck the top and like knocked part of it off.
I think in '99, and they did do some fortification to make sure that it would like stay up, what's remaining of the castle. But so good on you.
It's also just a very interesting thing to have always in your view is a piece of a castle. So that's kind of like a magical part of being on the beach here. So you have the cliffs and then you have the castle.
So beyond just the amazing natural scenery here, there's not a ton to do, which is exactly why we love it.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely that slow-paced, small-town life. After a few days, we would see familiar faces, we would get to know shop owners, and just people waving to us and having small conversations, I think was one of our favorite parts of staying here for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, the quintessential moment of this was we went to this little place called Hatch. We'll talk about food in a minute, but the woman got us some coffee and some scones, and then later that evening, it's in the same building, a hotel, we went to go to dinner. The same woman was there
greeting
us to the
in
table.
a different outfit, her evening outfit, and it was just fun for her to recognize us and chat with us. And so
it just like it really makes you feel like you're in this tiny town, and everything is walkable. Again, it's like one block, and it really does feel so different and so unique from so many other places you're going to go to.
Speaking of embedding ourselves in the community, I think the peak of this was when we realized that we would be here on St. Paddy's Day.
Which we did not know. We booked this place 5 months in advance and didn't even put 2 and 2 together.
And so luckily we had the most amazing, I cannot emphasize this enough, Airbnb host who was basically like, here's all the things going on in the town. She said, there's gonna be a parade, show up here at this time. We get there.
Well, first, can I just mention that I received from Siobhán, our host, a message. There was a screenshot of the Ballybunion Tourism Board saying everyone needed to show up for the parade at 2:30, which I just found lovely, and we really wanted to follow that rule.
Yes, we were like, we're gonna show up for the tourism board. We got there promptly at 2:30, and we thought, okay, we didn't know how many people to expect, but we thought it's a small town, so we'll set our expectations low. We saw kind of a smattering of people around.
Maybe 40 people.
And we were like, okay, this is it.
Sure.
I don't know about Irish time, but for the next 30 minutes, people start to just come out of the woodwork, and before we know it, we're on a fully packed, like, main street, ready for this parade to go down. And boy, was it just, again, like feeling like we lived in Ballybunion. We were a part of the tourism board's production.
Yeah, we absolutely showed up. The town showed up, and before you knew it, the parade was starting. Now, an interesting part about this parade, and I'm not sure if this is how parades go, because I believe this is our first parade we've ever attended together in 12 years, there was no music. I was befuddled by this the entire time. I was just,
should I get out my iPhone?
I was just waiting for music to start. Like, I was gonna hold up my phone and just play some songs. There was no music. However, there was a marching band.
There was a marching band, the ladies' marching band of Ballybunion, who put on a riveting recorder performance of what I assume to be a traditional Irish tune celebrating St. Patrick's Day.
You didn't know the recorders were gonna happen?
I did not. They were hidden.
Yeah.
I just thought they were marching in the parade. Before I know it, they whip out the recorder.
Those are recorders.
Yeah, there was just, this parade had everything. It had mystery, intrigue.
Desire, tractors. Yeah, it was just really fun to watch. And it was also one of those moments too, just to like see the whole town and area come together. And we felt like we were kind of a part of that. I still wanted some music though. It's just, by the end of it.
Listen, if we move to Ballybunion, we will submit
start
a comment card to the tourism board.
I will show up to the tourism board.
Maybe some music.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But it was really adorable, just like the parade ends, everyone's just kind of looking around, and then you're just off to do whatever you want.
So yes, those are the main things to do in Ballybunion is hang out with the community and see the beach.
Yeah.
Now, if you are in the mood for something like a little bit bigger than just the small one road town, you can head over to Tralee, which is a day trip that we did. Originally, we did this because we have our coaching sessions that we do once a month, and so we needed a co-working space for the Wi-Fi.
You can imagine that the Wi-Fi at a beach is not going to be that fast. But yeah, it was just a quick like 30-minute drive. Again, the weather gods were looking down upon us. It was green and beautiful and wonderful. We got there and it was really easy to navigate. It's not really that big of a town, but it did have a bunch more restaurants. It did have a bunch more going on. We ate lunch at the Roast House, which was really good. That's not even going to make it in our food section.
But we recommend it.
But we recommend it. It was delicious. And then I grabbed some donuts because you got to grab some donuts when you can. And yeah, it was just a cute little town. I do want to give an addendum though to Tralee. The dinner restaurant that we had, which I don't think we need to name names to shame them in any way whatsoever. However, they played 4 songs on repeat. Only 4 songs.
This was another bit of musical comedy that was following us around during this leg of our trip.
Yeah.
The first 4 songs were not necessarily our flavor of
listen,
music.
One of them was Love Shack. I don't like the song Love Shack. If you like the song Love Shack, great for you. Also, didn't realize it came out in 1989. I thought it came out in like the 70s.
The best part of Love Shack is you commenting on how it was not your favorite song, only to realize that it looped back around 4 songs later, only to realize it would loop back around another 4 songs later.
On repeat. Only 4 songs.
That was, again, just one of those bits of small town life that is just gonna make you laugh.
Hey, I got to enjoy a Guinness though, so that made it doable, but I was ready to leave by the 4th time Love Shack came around.
Where we stayed in Ballybunion.
The place we stayed here in Ballybunion Beach is magical.
We loved it.
It was one of 4 houses that are on the beach, which continues to, just like the music that didn't happen in the parade, befuddle me that there are 4 houses and we were able to stay in one. But we drove down this hill to get down to it. We pulled into the little private lot. We met our host Siobhán, who was absolutely lovely.
Best ever.
But before we even get into the Airbnb, Siobhán stopped you in her tracks, or your tracks, or everyone's tracks.
Yeah, so I immediately see Siobhán and I'm like, she just looks happy and smiling. But the thing that my eyes are immediately drawn to is this cardigan. And when I say this cardigan, I mean this cardigan. She's wearing this colorful, beautiful cardigan. If you know anything about my art, my style, it is me in a cardigan.
Yeah, it really is.
And so after introducing myself and saying, oh, it's so nice to meet you, I had to interject whatever was about to happen.
We weren't even inside yet.
We weren't even inside. And I said, I'm so sorry, I have to interrupt. Where did you get your cardigan? How can I get my hands on one? She did send me the link and I was able to order it online. So you might be wondering, like, what did you just buy it off of her?
Yeah,
did you steal it from her? No, she gave me the link. I
Yeah.
bought it. I had it delivered within 2 days because I was like, I need this.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna have to get rid of like 2 or 3 items in my 2 suitcases in order to make room for it, but I don't care.
Yeah.
I love it that much.
So we did actually then go into the Airbnb.
We did make it
after
into the
we
Airbnb.
sorted out the cardigan
That's right.
and necessary things. We took the tour. So this is another, all the bedrooms are on the downstairs and then the living space is on the upstairs, just like our last place was in Kinsale. And just love the openness, the light, bright walls, all the architectural touches.
The beams are,
Yeah.
I think, my favorite part of the main living space. Just that the vaulted ceilings and the beams, it gives you just this amazing, airy, fresh, open, light-filled feeling, and those are my favorite spaces.
And while we were here in Ballybunion, it was off season, so there weren't many restaurants open because there aren't that many restaurants anyway. So during the week, we had to cook a lot of meals. So we ended up eating a lot of meals in the kitchen. So the kitchen was very functional. I really loved the immediate hot water, like
you love
not
that.
instant hot water, instant boiling water, which definitely need to check that on the list of things for our future home. But yeah, just this whole space was really great. I loved sitting
huge picture windows.
right here every morning, looking out this picture window, having coffee. Just all the little touches, all little things made this place super dreamy. And we would definitely come back if Siobhán will let us. We might not leave. I don't know. We'll find out. We've got her cardigan at this point, so
It's a quick step to thank you for
We
the
now live here.
cardigan. May I have your home?
Yeah.
What we ate in Ballybunion, Ireland.
If you've watched our previous 2 travel vlogs, you're gonna know that we are big foodies and we love to eat. Well,
we do.
there are not a ton of options here, especially in the off season, as we mentioned. So there's really one main place where we ate our meals.
And we would highly recommend it. It is great.
Yeah, so I'll leave Caroline to tell you about the dinner spot, but I really enjoyed Hatch, which is basically just this little bakery and coffee bar that was on the side of the hotel, and they just have a window that goes up and you get to pick all these delicious scones and brownies and other treats. The sausage rolls were delicious. We definitely stopped by there pretty much every single day that it was open on the weekends and just got our fill, and they even had some nice outdoor seating with these little pods. It was just a really lovely experience there.
So like Jason said, Hatch is actually a part of this hotel, the Marine Hotel. And the Marine also has a dinner spot. I think they also serve lunch as well. But
Yeah.
anyway, like a main restaurant, not just a little coffee window. And one night that we were here, we went over and had dinner there.
It was actually the opening night.
It was opening night, that's
Yeah,
right.
it was opening night for the restaurant.
For the whole season.
Yeah.
They had just opened back up. So we went there for dinner, and let me tell you, I kind of had lowered my expectations because
Well, when
it
it's
was
the only restaurant
it's
that's
the only
open in the town.
restaurant.
Yeah.
It's a smaller town. I wasn't expecting, some of the restaurants we ate at in the gourmet capital of Kinsale. And let me tell you, I was so pleasantly surprised. The first thing I had was this fried brie salad as a starter, and it was so delicious, so
Yeah.
fresh, but then it had like the little comfort element of the fried brie. The dinner that we had there, it just was amazing flavors, really great presentation, and also we had this like adorable, I think, high
Oh,
schooler
definitely.
server
Yeah.
who like maybe this was her first job and it was opening night and she was kind of nervous, and it just made the whole thing feel very wholesome.
If you end up coming to Ballybunion, just go to Marine. You'll get your breakfast, you'll get your lunch, you'll get your dinner, and you can just even stay there if you want to stay there, because I can tell you what, you're not going to be able to stay this area with me because we live here now, just to let you know. One of the messages I received from Siobhán that I absolutely loved, besides the Ballybunion Tourism Board, was about a French bakery that I absolutely had to go to, which Siobhán didn't even know this about me yet.
No, I know. I was going to say, if you're new watching our videos, something that you really need to know about Jason is he is a bakery person, a baked goods person through and through.
I have a hierarchy of life.
Yeah.
I have baked goods. I have...
Where am I? Like a little...
a
no.
cinnamon, if it's a cinnamon roll. Anyway, I loved baked goods. I love baked goods. And this French bakery to me was just such a lovely place to be able to go into. The couple, they moved their bakery from a bigger town in Ireland in 2018.
Of course, originally they're from France.
Yes, they are French, and they just bake throughout the whole week, and then they open up on the weekends, and you just get this smattering of choices. And I wanted to buy every single thing.
Oh my gosh, they have the most delectable little desserts that are just pristine.
Some
Lots
gluten-free.
of gluten-free
Yeah,
options. They had a tiramisu in a jar, which I loved, and yeah, it was just adorable. And we looked forward to the weekend when the bakery would open so that we could get stocked up for the week.
Yeah, I think by this point I'm about 1/3 almond croissant.
I would agree with that.
I think that's
That
about,
feels
if you look at me in the
fair.
right light, you're like, oh yeah, he's
That's an almond
1/3 almond croissant
Absolutely.
now. Yeah.
So that wraps up our time here in Ballybunion. We absolutely enjoyed every second of it. We very intentionally chose to stay in a smaller town for this leg of our trip. We just wanted to relax, get some work done.
Yep.
And so yeah, we didn't do a ton of things, but just feeling a part of this small community in such a picturesque location, it really kind of ticked off that box on our list.
Now let's tick off another box in this video, which is the rating scale. So if you haven't been watching other videos, in Lisbon, we did a peacock scale. In Kinsale, we did a seal scale. So
What's our scale this time?
in Ballybunion, we are doing a seashell scale,
Seashell
which is hard to
scale.
say, so we'll
I
probably
just tried
mess it up.
seashell scale.
You nailed it.
It's hard.
All right, out of 10 seashells,
Okay.
what are you giving Ballybunion? Now, just to remind everybody, this is completely made up and totally arbitrary
This
and
isn't
has
like-
nothing to do
no,
with the
and
Ballybunion
also
Tourism Board or
it
the
is
marching band and how
completely
amazing it is.
100%. I would have to say, I'm gonna give it 8.5 seashells.
Okay.
For me personally.
Yeah, we
And
did
it's
come in the off season.
Because I will say, if it was just the Airbnb, I would give it a 10.
Yeah.
Because the actual place and the view is absolutely stunning. For me, it's just, it was that small town feel, but maybe didn't have quite enough like restaurants and different things for me. That's the only reason why I give it that. But everything that we had was so delightful, and just meeting all the people was lovely.
You know, normally I would try and like have a different score than you just to have a whole different take, but I really feel like 8.5 is like just a nice, solid
You feel
score
it's
for
8.5
Ballybunion.
seashells.
Yeah, I just like, if I'm thinking about the amount of seashells that a town like this deserves, it's 8.5.
I mean, deserves is such a strong word.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It deserves all the seashells, but
1,000,
for us,
1,000 is what it deserves. But just in our arbitrary trading,
you can't say
seashell scale, there you go. That's our rating.
Try to say it one more time for me.
Arbitrary?
Good job.
Nailed it.
Now to our second part of our completely arbitrary system, which is we come up with 3 words to describe the place to you watching at home. And we have not shared our words with each other, and I haven't thought about it at all. So I get to choose. No, you choose the first one because I chose first last time.
Ooh, I'm gonna go sandy. I think it's
sandy.
Sandy. It's a sandy town.
Okay.
It feels like there can be sand almost anywhere you look. So sandy.
I'm gonna say cozy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because like with the weather and just the warmth of the people and all the places and the restaurants have that very like cozy, neighborhoody, community feeling. So cozy. So sandy, cozy.
Quiet. Because there was no music in the parade.
True. Although
Also, in the off season here, boy is it quiet.
Right.
Which is lovely.
which
It's really
you do
nice.
have to do an asterisk next to quiet.
Yeah.
Because we have heard that
In the
in
summer.
the summer it absolutely gets the opposite of quiet.
Right. But for right now.
But if we're doing Ballybunion off season, it's sandy, it's cozy, it's quiet.
Those are the 3 words that they should
that.
use now on the Ballybunion Tourism Board. And that's the end of our Ballybunion video, but before you click to another video, we've got a sneak peek of the next country that we're going to. Where do you think we're going? Leave a comment below. I leave these clips very vague so that you can't actually tell, but I do think it's fun just to see what you're guessing.
Yep, and the next 6 weeks of our travel are gonna be a little bit more hectic than they have been, so we hope you enjoy following along on our journey with us and watching these videos. Thanks for all the feedback, and yeah, thanks for watching.
Bye.